Pacers do take care of business. For people just joining us, the Pacers have advanced to the NBA Finals. They beat the Knicks 125-108 in Game 6 in Indianapolis. And we talked a little bit about the Pacers. We'll talk a little bit more about them being disrespected, all of that. But I do want to ask you this, is that the New York Knicks, obviously another 50-win regular season for them, a second straight year where they make a nice little run in the NBA playoffs, but also last year, of course, they lose in the second round because of injuries to guys like Jalen Brunson, et cetera, et cetera. This year they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but to the point you made earlier, felt like they really ran out of gas. And certainly I think they were kind of broken after that loss in Game 1, in which, as you said earlier, what was it, a 14-point lead with 2:45 to go. And so I just ask you, Knicks haven't made it this far in a quarter of a century. When you see them lose in the manner that they did, a 6-game series, it felt just about over, like you said, once Game 1 went final, certainly once you lose the first 2 at home. Is this a situation where you feel like they have to make any sort of big change? Do you run it back with the same team? Do you run it back with the same coaching staff? Just your thoughts on the Knicks, who obviously fall short of the NBA Finals.
Well, the Knicks fell to their own demise because of how Thibodeau coached. I mean, it was done at their own hands. It's like you wore your players out, and I said it countless times on air. You cannot expect these guys to play 40-plus minutes. You got to remember something. The Knicks had the top 5 usage in the NBA, like combinations, whether it was Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Adebayo, Bridges, it didn't matter. Whatever iteration you want, they had the top 5 numbers. And so to me, you wore these guys out, and I kept saying what was going to kill the Knicks is fatigue. And it's exactly what killed them. And the fact that Thibodeau never took the time to just say, hey, you know what? I got to go against the grain here a little bit. I know I want to play these guys all these minutes, but I need to get some fresh legs. Indiana knew that. Rick Carlisle knew that. That's why they picked up full court. They wore him out, man. Brunson, I mean, he had a great Game 5. But tonight, it was just like they were in him. Nembhard was all in him. And when he spun, and they knew exactly. Some teams know how to scout. Some coaches know how to scout. Some coaching staffs know how to scout. And that's what Indiana did. They knew Brunson likes to, turn his back a lot. And that's why they kept running a secondary guy at him. And it just made him, he got confused. They had more unforced turnovers than was allowed in basketball. And so to me, all those things came to become a big part of it only because of fatigue. They were tired. Play more players. These guys are NBA players getting money. They have contracts. Play them. I don't care if it's 2 minutes. Get them, a 2-minute break over here. Karl-Anthony Towns need to go back and work on his defense. You mentioned that Thibodeau's a defensive guy. I'm doubting that tremendously because the Knicks' defense looked like trash.
By the way, I didn't know you were a college teammate of Rick Carlisle. I mean,
yes, I was.
Feel free to let him know. The phone lines are open if he wants to call in and chat a little bit. He's got an open forum here for the next 2.5 hours. With Thibodeau, let me ask you this, because you were in the league for a long time. With somebody like Thibodeau, now, he has obviously had a great deal of success as a head coach, but he is also, the same thing is his constant downfall. Why did that Bulls run end way faster than it should have? It's because you're playing Derrick Rose so many freaking minutes, Joakim Noah so many freaking minutes, on and on. Is that something that at this point, now, he's now a guy that's in his late 60s, so I think I probably know the answer to this. But is that something somebody can talk some sense? Go ahead. I see you shaking your head. For people who cannot see you, which is just me and Steve DeSager, I said, can somebody talk him out of that? You're shaking your head like you want to just, grab him by the shoulders. But what do you think when I ask that question?
He's stuck on stupid. These old guys, and that's the one thing I don't like. You have to be able to make adjustments. You have to be able to look at what's going on and say, hey, this is 2025. These young cats, this generation, they move differently. So I have to coach accordingly. I can't coach like I did in the 90s and the 2000s, the 2010s, whatever it was. I have to be different. That's why a lot of college coaches are leaving the game.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because it's like, hey, I'm good. I can't deal with this anymore. They being honest about it. Because these young cats are coming in with a different mindset. And so I'm not saying you got to be the, rah-rah all the time or not be that way. You just have to know how to make adjustments based on who you have on your team. The Knicks are good. They're not great. They're good. And so you have to coach accordingly. And to me, he didn't do that because their defense sucked. They were fatigued, as I keep saying. The turnovers killed them. And he just allowed it to happen. It's like, dude, if a guy is messing up, I don't care if it is Jalen Brunson. You turn the ball over. Jalen Brunson he's not 6 feet. He might be 5'10". Mm-hmm. I see double teams coming at him incessantly like that. I got to make an adjustment. Mm-hmm. I got to bring in a bigger guard. Or I got to get him off the ball, get somebody else bringing the ball up. Do something different. Indiana knew all of this, but the Knicks never made the adjustments. Yeah,
there was it took until game 3 for him to actually change the starting lineup when whatever the stat was, like the plus minus was the worst in the NBA, or I forget the whatever. But yeah, no, that to me is the crazy part. So let me ask you this. Do you think that basically we know Tom Thibodeau isn't going to change? Do you think that this group has reached its ceiling under Tom Thibodeau? And if Olden Polynice was GM or owner of the Knicks, would you consider a change? Or do you feel like this is, listen, he did make the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the farthest we've been in 25 years. I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation because I think the default is always when you have a season like this, you couldn't or shouldn't. But I also think the opposite is true as well, which is it kind of feels like this is and I think with the Knicks too, and I know that you said to me off air that you like the Knicks against the Celtics, but I just bring it up because I don't think they're really very close to, as you said, OKC. The Celtics series, maybe they end up winning. They probably end up winning without Tatum, but let's be honest. The Celtics had a 20-point lead in game 1 and game 2, and that series could have been different. Only point I'm trying to make, I think people would sit there and say that it feels ridiculous to even consider the possibility of making a change. I don't feel like it does, given the way the season ended and given the way nothing is going to change if you bring him back.
I'll put it this way. Take Karl Anthony Towns out the equation right now. Leave Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle, and also bring back Hartenstein, and the Knicks get to the finals.
Woo!
The Knicks get to the finals. With the team that they just played against, they get to the finals because Hartenstein, his energy, it was key. And he's not. Karl Anthony Towns will score a basket, but he'll give up 2-3 points.
Sure.
It's like, what's the point of having him on the court if he's not playing defense? And I'm talking about the Pacers got easy shots, easy three-pointers, wide open three-pointers, floaters by Halliburton, floaters by everybody coming down the middle. I'm like, dude, at some point in time, you got to man up. If he's not going to play defense, I have enough offense. He and Jalen Brunson are similar, just different size, but they are offensively, they're just alike. And so to me, I can't have both of them on the floor at the same time because I'm going to struggle defensively.
In the Pacers' 4 wins this series, admittedly, the first game was an overtime win, but in the 4 games this series, they scored at least 114 points in all of their wins. They topped 125 in 3 of the 4 wins.